Welcome back to the Coffee Connect after the eclipse. We decided to keep wearing our glasses.
No, he decided to.
Because you never know when the sun will come out tomorrow. Actually, today, there's no sun. It just disappeared behind the clouds.
It's raining. Okay, you can't see anything.
But I could see the eclipse yesterday. Did you see it? Okay, tell us about your eclipse experience. In all seriousness, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, love.
Oh, good morning.
Welcome to your Coffee Connect. So, yeah, this
One
morning,
of those days, y'all.
here at Epic, that's like my S for Superman. It's Epic. Yeah, it's raining. It's kind of a rainy day schedule. We had some things planned on the ranch and we have to adapt. It happens. I need tractor tire change. I guess that'll happen later once it stops raining. But I do want to hear, if you're watching live or messaging here, we'd love to hear from you.
Chat is open.
What was your eclipse experience like, right? Because I guess I was told it only comes every 20 years. And I just want to share, because I was really excited to see that some people had some really cool experiences. Some of our community, I was popping on Facebook yesterday and noticed that some of you had, as a matter of fact, Abigail was one of them. Awesome. She went with her dad and I think they drove to Indiana or something. Wasn't quite clear on it, but I guess there was a spot in Indiana, which is what was happening. People were concerned about. There's like a spot where it was like 100% cover where the moon, because here at our ranch, we only had 80%. So, but it was still cool. But one thing that happened, like these glasses, everyone's like, how'd you get those glasses? And I wouldn't have these glasses if, I didn't have dad. Because he was very excited about it. He actually sent for them and got us all a pair so we could check it out. So, and when we were talking about it, I guess that kind of eclipse, he said he was noticing or something, he looked up, it would be 20 years or something like that. So this was kind of important to him.
Area, right?
Yeah, it's kind of important to him. So I decided, and it was awesome. I was on a call with Mary out of Indiana, and I was like, hey, she's like, oh, it's getting dark out there. I was like, oh, you want to go look at it? So do I. And so we paused our mentorship and we both went, and this is what I did. I went and met up with Dad.
Okay. Oh.
It was fun. There's he and I looking up at the eclipse together. He had drove up to the barn. I just thought he was outside, but no, he was up at the barn. Guess where it's clear sky. And then the other thing I did was I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to video him giving me his thoughts on the eclipse. You know, because in 20 years, Dad will be 98. He could be around. But it's kind of a special thing for him, and he was excited about it, so it made me excited to check it out with him. So I figured he'd probably be most attentive of the eclipse right at the major part of it, the 80%. I was right. He said he went up there 15 minutes before it was 80%, and then I met him up there right at the time of 80%, and we checked it out together. So it was a cool little memory. Those are always fun.
Cute.
It was cool. Like I think of those things a lot of times on the fly. But it's like trying to create or recognize, hey, if he's gonna take the time to send for these classes because I think they were free, and bring them over to our house, give us the information of when it is, and type it out. Like he's really awesome like that, efficient that way. Then I'm gonna make time to connect with him during that time because he made time for me. So I really enjoyed it yesterday. And it was only like 10 minutes, wasn't even that long. So sometimes we want to make it bigger than it needs to be, and just making time, a little bit of time for each other. Which reminds me, that's tonight too, Tuesday nights. We've committed our Tuesday evenings to connect with mom and dad. Sometimes we take Hazel to practice and then we go to dinner with them. Yeah. Or we just hang out with them here at the house. We cook dinner and they come over. There's all kinds of varieties. But our commitment is that they have a standing appointment on Tuesday evenings to hang out with them, mom and dad. Mom is 81 and dad is 78. So we want to be purposeful with time with them. All right. Well, I'm done talking. What about you?
Oh gosh.
For once, she's like, keep talking.
I'm tired, y'all.
Why are you tired, Miss Campos?
Well, so part of it was like, I don't know, you ever had one of those days where you're like, today I planned to sleep in. So I planned to sleep in. It was like on my radar just to get some extra sleep. And of course I get up to use the bathroom and then I can't go back to sleep.
I noticed that.
And then, it comes time for Carlos to get up, and I'm really trying to go back to sleep. I'm really trying to like just get back into it, and then he starts rubbing my foot and then rubbing me, and I'm like, okay, you're keeping me awake.
I have a routine. So every morning I anoint her with oil.
Yeah, but besides that.
Oh, besides that,
Yeah.
you mean when
Yeah, you're just laying
on
there,
you.
yeah. So on top of it,
Here's your sign.
our guinea fowl didn't make it in the coop last night or something, and they were off the chain. Off the chain. I don't often feel like I want to shoot my guineas, but
it happens.
Today I felt like I wanted to shoot the guineas. Another story.
They're loud.
Oh, they're so.
They try to tell you that guinea fowl are good for eating bugs and ticks. It's their big thing, their big selling. So we had a few of them. I think chickens probably do the same. Actually, eat as much as guinea fowl do, unless guinea fowl for some reason they're have heat seeking. They're looking for ticks. That's what they make you believe, but I don't know. Well, they don't lay eggs that you can eat. Well, some of them do, but they're little.
We totally ate their eggs.
They're little.
We just have males now. And so the two that we have left are hilarious. They're kind of
they're like Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah.
Remember those characters?
Yeah. They're really funny to watch. And normally they don't bother me. But because I wanted to sleep in today, they got me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What can you do? And she's probably a little tired because yesterday our workout was good. She pushed through. She told that story a little bit last night about pushing through, no excuses. And she did. She did awesome. Matter of fact, we did some sumo squats. That's where your feet go out like these. And then you squat when you're taller. You can do heavier weight with sumo squats. Yeah, wide leg and feet out like these. And
deadlifts. Not just sumo.
Oh yeah, I said sumo squats. Sorry. Sumo deadlifts. Difference. Big difference. So, but she did awesome. She lifted the most of any women in the class, 210. And everyone was in awe. Me too. I was a little concerned. I was like, oh, that's heavy. But she did it like a champ. Matter of fact, she did it she's supposed to do it like once, and she did it multiple times because she's trying to get the form right. It's like, oh, dang. Okay. And then coach is super impressed, and coach's max at that sumo deadlift is 240, and she did 210. I was like, dang, girl, you made that 210 look like you could do 240. She's like, I'm coming for you, coach. No, she wasn't. I was inside. I was like, go. Nah, it's all good.
I
It's
like
fun.
sumo deadlifts. They're good for tall people. So it allows you to lift more weight.
Yeah, I was a little bit down yesterday in that department. I did 325, which before I had done 345 because I keep records of it. So I was like, I looked at it and I was like, oh man, I didn't last time I did 345. So if you guys don't track things, you should. I have it under my health because I continue to do health. My health plan, as I call it.
Oh, look at that. So my last sumo deadlift was 175.
Dang, girl, knuckles. See, that's why we track it so you can see the progress. Look at this. This is crazy. February. Oh, no. Dang. See, I need to date it. This is why I date things too, because sometimes the health journey. This one shows my body weight at 290 pounds, 31.6% fat, which means that I could live off of my body fat for a year and never eat. I think that was right. Anything over 30% body fat. So if you're wondering what that is, it's a little, I took a picture of a scale. That was from our old workout place from like 2 years ago. And I was kind of working on a plan, but really the best plan. And then I take pictures of like the scale as I go. 279 is my journey downward. Bench press 275 3 times. That was in December 2023.
So do you have health goals? Do you have specific targets that you want to meet?
That's what 275 looks like. I was benching that. I like to take pictures just to feel it and go, okay, I can do more next time. And this was when I deadlifted 325. That's what it looks like. But that's not the sumo squat. The sumo squat's right here. This was 345. I did one set of 345. That was February 23rd. So, point in even showing that is like just to see push press. I did 165. That looks like. Again, this is just my encouragement, right? This is where what I can do, because sometimes you get in a place you're like, how much can I do? Did I really do that much? Like for instance, yesterday I got to 325 and I could tell I could do it, but I have this hamstring that I pulled, and gosh dang, man, when I did that 325 yesterday and I was going to go up, and coach was like, I don't know. I'm like, she's like, don't be a hero. I could see that one hurt. And I'm like, yeah, it hurt because I pulled a hamstring with my adult fit that we talked about. So anyways, so that's yesterday, I acknowledged, okay, at least I did 325. It wasn't what I had done before. In February, I'd done the 345. Right. And that's what I love about our trainer and coach. We circle back around and cycle back through and keep testing ourselves to keep growing and gaining more strength. And it's working, except for my pulled hamstring. That kind of kept me from going to even going to 345, actually. But anyways, it was fun. It was fun. I was proud of you, babe. You rocked it. Seriously. Especially, that's all I was like, dang, this girl's doing 210 when she's exhausted from a weekend of volleyball tournament, going.
I was there.
So, yeah, you were.
What am I gonna do? Do lightweight just because?
It is a weird feeling as a husband and a protector to be like wanting to root her on, but then being like, that looks heavy. Coach, what's your max? 240? And she's trying to do 210 because coach is beast. She's really strong. So I'm like, okay. But then once she did it and did it so easy, I was like, well, maybe we should put some more on.
I wouldn't call it easy.
Well, you made it look easy, baby. You do a good job of that.
Thank
You're
you.
just like, well, there.
How did that go?
Just picked it up.
It doesn't look very good. It looks
Yeah.
like a frog.
Yeah, you didn't look that way.
Like a frog, you know, expanding their chest or whatever they do.
Yeah.
It's good coffee.
It is. Thanks for putting cream in mine. Usually I don't have cream, but I'm totally good with it today. I'm enjoying it.
It was my first cup of coffee, and I wasn't quite awake. Normally, he just does it black with salt.
Yeah, because the cream can kick you out of fasting,
No,
right?
it doesn't.
A little bit, somewhat. Anyways, okay, so today's normally a ranch day for you and home day, just whatever.
Well, yeah, there's not going to be a lot of ranch activities going on because it's wet. Very wet out there.
Jay moved the sheep yesterday. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, did he bring the shelter down?
He did. And so when I was taking Hazel to school, I drove Hazel to school. I was like, oh my gosh, where are the sheep? I was like, did they get out? They were all huddled up in that shelter. They hate the rain. But then right now they're actually out grazing.
Yeah, they don't hate it as much as goats do.
Yeah, but they were all huddled up in that shelter. I was like, dang, there's a lot of sheep to get in that little shelter, but they fit. Warm and dry. But then when I came back, they were out grazing. So it's still raining out there. But yeah, we moved, or Jay, I say we. I got a J in my pocket. Jay, my awesome brother-in-law, he works full-time here on the ranch, taking care of things, and he actually moved the sheep yesterday by himself. It's like, dude, you are a beast, you're a champion. I know how tough that can be, but he did it. We've done it before too. So moving the sheep, meaning like to a different part of the property where the grass is really green and growing up.
Location.
We try to rotate the different pastures with the sheep and the cows. But anyways, that's ranch life. What else? Facts.
Fun facts.
Jesse's awesome. He's messaging us, our partner Jesse and Adina Kaufman, our co-founders of Epic Your Life. He is awesome. He's like, a tablespoon of cream or more will knock you out of ketosis, out of a fasted state. It's like, fun fact, that's good. So yes, cheers. Should I go eat breakfast?
Yeah, see.
No, I won't. I'll be okay.
Yeah, so today I will be focused on home.
Yeah.
Home.
And we get to have
I might light a fire because we still have firewood and it might be the last one.
True, it's pretty warm, especially with the rain, but it's cool enough. It's just the ambiance, right, of the fire.
Yeah.
What's I gonna say? Oh, yeah, we get to enjoy Shabbat this weekend. We're gonna embrace it. We'll be counting down the hours. We do really, really do appreciate and love our Shabbat because it involves, being super duper lazy. That involves our rest and then our giving our best to each other after our rest. So date night.
You tend to like talk about it like being super duper lazy.
That's the way I view it. I love it.
I understand, but I think sometimes that kind of challenges a connection to rest, right? And the beauty of what rest is. And I know in your mind you like, this is just, Carlos and I talking about our languaging and how that goes. But I feel like
she wants me to maximize my rest and be blessed, so I should call it rest and not laziness, because laziness has a negative connotation to it. Is that correct?
I don't, I mean, not that it necessarily has a negative connotation to it. I just feel like it looks different, like it feels different. You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
I feel like, so the
Tell
head
me how you
trip,
really feel.
I don't know, the head trip of like embracing rest is already something. Then you have to like, you know, it's almost like it complicates it.
She likes simple.
It's almost like it complicates it because then you're calling rest like, but I'm being lazy. So it's rest, but I'm being lazy. Why can't it just be I'm
Time's up. We gotta go. I don't
embracing
want to speak today.
rest?
Just kidding. This is too much work for me. Isn't today supposed to be your day off? You're not allowed to analyze me on your day off.
Oh, really? Gosh. See, that's where he's like, I have to call it lazy so that I don't analyze you on your day off on my day,
That's it.
right? Well, then you're not allowed to analyze me on your day off.
No, you're right. No, it's space, giving space, making time and giving space for rest.
I think
That's
it's
really good.
yeah.
And rest is a different, you're right. It does have a different, for sure, different energy.
It's not about right or wrong in any of it, right? I think the reason why I feel like it complicates things is it it gives um it gives like parameters to what the rest maybe looks like.
I can see that.
Do you
That's a
understand?
good point too.
So
that it has to put it in
that
a
it has to look lazy. I have to, if I'm gonna embrace rest, then it has to look lazy.
True.
Which is not, it limits, thank you, Jesse. Which is not what true rest is, because
Rest looks
when we
different for
cease
different
from what
people.
we normally do, and it's like you cooking breakfast on Saturday because that's what you do on Saturday. That's not lazy.
Right.
And you take a long time to cook that breakfast.
What are you trying
And
to
it's
say?
delicious.
How about my spaghetti?
Okay, you haven't made spaghetti.
One time I made spaghetti when we were first married. That was the last.
It's such a squirrel. You're talking about 10, 12 years ago.
But it was like 12-hour spaghetti. You loved it, right?
No.
No, she said it wasn't good enough to have me do it again. Okay, no, point well taken. And you're right, because then it tends to put people in a box thinking, well, if I gotta be like Carlos, I gotta be lazy.
Yeah.
I get it. You're right. Why is she always right?
Sometimes. I'm right sometimes. No, it's not about right or wrong. It's just conversation because of the feeling it. And I really think so. I don't know if you've noticed, but we are on mission simplify in this season. And so I'm recognizing all the things that kind of complicate like thought process or actions or how we do things,
Very true.
So if we're really, interesting, right? How languaging can bring freedom or limit you.
And saying rest and then ceasing from what you normally do, that does open it up, but yet simplifies it, but it opens it up. So to each his own, where it doesn't have to be controlled, or because like religion will control it, right? Religion will try to tell you exactly what it is and exactly how you should do it, and you shouldn't turn on
what if I want to go for a hike? That's not being lazy.
Well, and check this out. This is it. You're bringing up a good point, because one thing that we went to a Shabbat one time at Shabbat dinner at an Orthodox Jew's home, and they invited us. It was really awesome. They had the Torah in their home, everything. Beautiful, gorgeous home in Arizona, Phoenix, I think it was. And point being is like they literally had like switches that were taped on or turned on, and then notes by it, do not turn light off. Because again, what they literally do is cease from any kind of work, anything that would create work. They do all their cooking before sundown on Friday, and then they do all their cooking, cleaning, everything preparation, and they never do anything else outside of that once Shabbat hits. And then Saturday at sundown, then they'll do whatever, but they don't turn on lights, turn off lights. They have things on timers. It reminds me of even like how the Amish don't use electricity, but then they'll use battery powered stuff. You know what I mean? It's like they figure things out to kind of work or adapt in certain sects of Amish, obviously. But it is fascinating how that is really then it really, because then it's everyone's like, because then they try to make it about that. I noticed that too. Like then it's certain sects of Amish, certain sects of Judaism will do certain things for Shabbat. Same thing with electricity or how much technology they use, right? It's really interesting. So we do our best, and I'm grateful for you, babe, because you're right. We do our best to try to make it all about freedom and what that looks like. So then you get to define what rest looks like to you. The definition of it, as it's stated in Genesis, because that's where we get it from. In the creation, is God rested? Is he ceased
And I think
from what he
that,
normally does?
like if we're talking about like biblical principles, connotations, like all of these different things, right? I think that's where we can get so boxed in somehow. And when, and this is totally my perception, okay, nobody else has to own this or think this way, but my perception is kind of like, from a father to a child, when I am putting something out there for my children that is wisdom that I have and that I know is for their benefit, right? You know, how they eat, whether they exercise, how much sleep that they get, like just, basic things, sugar, just basic things from a parent, right? So if I look at how I raise, my children and the things that I put before them, it's a guideline. It doesn't mean that they don't have free will or the choice or freedom, to flex here and there, whatever that is, but it's a guideline. And I feel like all of the biblical stuff that is put before us also is a guideline for what is most beneficial for us. I feel like that is, and again, this is totally me, my perception, my belief in why, right? Because I look at it as who I am as a mom and how I love my children well.
Yeah.
And so that is my belief, that our Father has this stuff in front of us as a guideline. When we talk about like the dietary guidelines, when we talk about rest, it's literally for our highest good, for our most benefit.
It's good. It's what love is.
It's what love is. And it doesn't mean that, I mean, do I love my child any less if they eat a bunch of sugar and crash and have this kind of meltdown? Like, I mean, that's kind of a natural consequence. Like, and that's another thing, right? Here on Earth, as humans, there are natural consequences for every decision we make. So that takes the responsibility and says, okay, you have this freedom and there are natural consequences. If you eat a bunch of pork and you end up with parasites, that's a natural consequence. That is my belief based on a good father and what I have learned, right? But that's you, if you eat a bunch of sugar and you have this crash, or you wake up with your nose stuffed and all of this stuff, right? That's the consequence. There's good consequences for our actions too.
Yeah.
There's natural cause and effect for everything that we do.
Yeah,
So
good.
it's not about right or wrong. It's about what is our highest good, what is the most beneficial for our mind, our body, our spirit. You know what I mean? Like how we work, how our energy levels are, so I think that's where, bring it back to rest.
Well, yep. And the dietary stuff, the food stuff, bringing back to that too. It's real. Like, even I know for me, my whole family on my dad's side, diabetes. My dad died from complications of diabetes when I was 19. He had type 2. Type 2 is preventable and curable. So I think that's the part that's tough. And that's where then wisdom of seeking out wisdom, but also letting people know, right? Giving them an understanding of what we understand and what we've been through, just for the sake of loving well. Because I know, man, there's some people, my dad lost a toe, and I know people that lost limbs because of diabetes. And it is really fascinating then to go, okay, is it who's to blame for this? Why isn't this information getting out there? Right? Is the medical people just keeping them medicated or keeping them in that state of, eating the way they eat, the diet they eat, just so that they can keep medicating? I don't know. Again, that's a whole nother topic, but I do know I'm passionate about it. I do know that fasting has made all the difference for me. Even when I was on my journey, that's what really helped me to drop weight. I could exercise all I wanted, but if I ate carbs like I was, and if I wasn't fasting, I would just stay at 305. I would literally was stuck at 305 for like 3 years, no matter how hard I worked out. So anyways, that's part of my health journey.
Yeah.
And things I went through.
There's a question. So is death also curable and preventable?
Which death? Depends on what your definition of death is.
I mean, I think again, that's a really, really broad question. But if you're looking at something like diabetes, I would say that,
premature death. We could call it that, right?
Premature death, yeah, and how somebody's health trajectory looks, I would say, is definitely preventable.
And I'll tell you, I'll just say it. The first thing that we have to address is mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, that's why I think probably I'm so passionate about being teachable and coachable, was because I watched how my dad passed away. He was 34, was it?
No, 36.
36. And I was 19. And again, if he would have had just understanding, wisdom, or had sought after that, it was totally curable and preventable. So that is a good case in point. My dad would still be alive today, I believe with all my heart, had he had the understanding or wisdom of that. And so kind of what you're saying, I can see what you're saying, or by the question came across is death, and is death also curable and preventable? So again, I would be more specific, and I would say like a premature death type of thing. So physical death, yeah. Death was not existing in the garden. Yeah. That's a whole nother topic about returning to the garden and what that would look like, and can we restore Eden? What's that look like to restore Eden? That's a whole nother topic, but a good one. Something we could definitely give our opinion on sometime. But
Yeah,
good stuff.
it is definitely, that's like a retreat, Shabbat deep dive topic.
Fun stuff.
So we'll see you at the retreat, right?
Yes. Exactly. All right. Well,
Awesome.
we probably ought to get going.
Yes.
We got some other appointments and stuff too. So blessings. Love you. We'll see you Thursday for our next Coffee Connect. Hope this was fun and beneficial for you. Bye.
Bye.